Yes, your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of My 2 Cents. This morning, we're looking at Google. Yes, $1 trillion, like the Austin Powers character did. Years ago, we thought $1 billion was a lot. Well, now we're talking trillions and quadrillions, and it's just going to go further and further. And in a minute, we're going to be talking about Googillions, if that's even the proper term. But if the Fed continues to print, if central banks around the world continue to print, this is what we're going to get. Astronomical valuations on companies, but Google's parent company Alphabet joins the $1 trillion club. I don't know if you guys remember a year or so ago when the markets were going crazy over Apple joining the club or hitting that $1 trillion market cap. But there are a few now at that level, and just shows you the situation we're in when it comes to easy money and inflating. This is where the inflation is going. It's going into stock markets, and unfortunately, most of Americans don't own enough stock to really make a difference in their lives. So it is ultimately helping the rich only. But I guess MMT is going to fill that gap, right? Anyway, we're going to take a look at Alphabet joining the $1 trillion club and a list of others that are already there. You may be shocked to see which ones they are. And we'll talk about some other things as well. But before we start, if you guys find these types of videos informative, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. Take a look at the Dow Jones today. Yet another yellow banner on CNBC stating another 52-week high hit today. This is just insane. I mean, I don't even know. It's laughable. It really is laughable. You know, they might as well just keep that up there permanently, because I feel like this is what we're going to see for the rest of 2020. It's just going to be a bizarro world of 52-week highs every day, like Groundhog's Day. Every day is a 52-week high. But Dow Jones up 267 points from yesterday's close. I mean, 30,000, what? That's like 2-3 days from now. We can hit 30,000 if we keep this up. Who would have known? Who would have known? But that's where we are. Gold up 5.9 bucks, up 0.38%. to $1,556, up 2.6% to $8,901. I personally think on our way to take out 2019's highs at 12,000. That is a marker I think we will definitely get to before the middle of 2020. To be honest with you, the halving is coming up, and I believe that will be the catalyst for us to take out that high in 2019. But the main topic for today, look at this. Alphabet joins the $1 trillion club. It looks like at last, Google parent company Alphabet is now the fourth company in the U.S. to attain a market cap value of more than $1 trillion. The company achieved this milestone just over a month after Google's founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin stepped down from their respective CEO and president positions at Alphabet, founded in 2015. Last December, Page handed the reins over to Google CEO Sundar Pichai, making him CEO of both Google and Alphabet. The holding company includes several businesses, including Google Sidewalk Labs, which focuses on smart city tech, DeepMind, and AI Outfit, which is that part of Alphabet Group is going to dwarf everything else. Google Fiber, and Verily, a life science research organization that was previously part of Google X. Other ventures like Nest and Chronicle have been folded into Google over the past couple of years. And with that, big tech is now a $5 trillion affair. And it's all because of easy money. You know, Silicon Valley loves this easy money, and a lot of it is trickling to not only banks, but also tech. You know, the Federal Reserve and its move back in October, or September, I should say, really took us over the top, I think. But it started well even before the repo interventions. It started in 2018, if you guys don't recall. At the end of the year, 2018, there was a horrible crash. Fed Chair Powell said that, he was going to keep pace with increasing or tightening the money supply, or in what they called it, quantitative tightening. The QT operation was going to continue steadily at a predefined pace. Markets went bananas, went down 20%, and he had to reverse course. And now we are almost 8,000 points higher in the Dow Jones. So it's no coincidence, right? We're seeing valuations go crazy because they're able to borrow this cheap money, and really they're able to grow their business. At least with the tech firms out there in Silicon Valley, they're putting that money to use. Whereas with the banks on the East Coast, they're not doing anything. They've got so many regulations on them that they're really restricted by how much they can even do with all this money that they're cheap money they're getting from the feds. And really is probably a part of the reason why we're having this repo issue in the first place, because they're restricted by what they can do with this money that they're borrowing from the Fed. And so the other companies that are in this $1 trillion club, well, it's Alphabet, of course, we just talked about, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. The 5 most valuable U.S. tech companies now account for over 17% of the S&P 500, up from 11% in 2015. So something like an 80% increase, right? Even in the face of heightened regulatory pressure, the dominant companies continue to grow and attract investor dollars. Says even as regulators bear down on the top technology companies and some lawmakers seek to break them up, big tech is bigger than ever. And so after Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon hit that $1 trillion mark, Alphabet just hit it yesterday, and adding that to that, Facebook into the group. The 5 top most valuable U.S. tech companies are now worth a staggering $5.2 trillion. And so whether at home or in the workplace, the same companies are surrounding us like never before, capturing our attention and increasing amounts of spending from businesses, consumers, and advertisers. And with all that momentum, investors are mostly shrugging off news of probes by the Department of Justice, Federal Trade Commission, and state law enforcement into the potential anti-competitive practices of big tech, as well as declarations by president candidates like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders that the companies should split apart. Well, probably the reason why they're not even budging or caring about it is because they know that neither of these candidates will ever even get a chance to run for the presidency against Trump, because I think the DNC is setting up for quid pro Joe to take that opportunity. So I don't think they're worried about neither of those individuals. And specific to Alphabet, state attorney generals are investigating the dominant search business and the company's Android operating system, which comes with numerous Google apps pre-installed. But Google has continued to thrive despite billions of dollars in past fines from the European Union, while privacy-related regulations like EU's General Data Protection Regulatory have generally worked in Google's favor and hurt smaller businesses that have fewer ways to adapt and gather the data. And that whole GDPR movement in the EU was a huge topic in blockchain last year, before it was implemented, but it doesn't seem like blockchain has made much of an impact on that transition for the EU just yet. Google also had to overcome an abundance of internal turmoil. The company faces an investigation into how executives handles claims of sexual harassment and other misconduct, as well as workers' protests related to mistrust of leadership and the ways they've fired certain people. But none of this has really slowed down Alphabet. It, of course, hit that $1 trillion market cap, rose over 0.8% to $1,450 on Thursday, and this is now up 33% in the past year. Apple, the most valuable U.S. company, has been the top performer in the group, jumping 103%, with Microsoft and Facebook each up over 50% in the past year. And speaking of Apple, I did not even realize this, but their Apple AirPods product is really what's making them all the money. They made $8 billion alone from this division, the AirPods division. You could break off this division of Apple and it could be a top Fortune 500 company by itself. It's just crazy. This is the best selling product that Apple has, even over the iPhone. So, again, these guys are really benefiting from all of this. However, it is all predicated on the consumer. And so if the consumer doesn't keep this up, keep these purchasing habits going, then we're going to have an issue here. And all these valuations have to pare back and pare down. Stocks making the biggest moves after hours yesterday was Gap and CSX and Progressive Software. So the tech group are not the only guys really reaping the benefits from easy money in this crazy stock market. Gap was up over 4% in extended trading hours. We had CSX up over 3% in extended trading hours, and Progressive Software was up 9% in extended trading. And I just want to kind of put this all in perspective. What $1 trillion looks like is essentially, as you see on the screen, 2 football fields side by side, stacked all the way as high as a semi-truck's trailer. That's how much money $1 trillion is. I know we just throw those types of numbers around simply because, it's not in physical form. They're all digits. But it just amazes me how we say these numbers and we don't even think about it. And so 5 trillion, or 5.2 to be exact, is 5 times that much that you see on the screen, which would constitute Alphabet, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Facebook. And in my video yesterday, I talked about and showed you guys some charts showing the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve, and it's fastly catching up to the PBOC. I think this thing is going to go higher and higher, people. 30,000 Dow is literally might be a week and a half away. That's how crazy this is. Trump is making progress. He signed a USMCA deal, which is replacing the NAFTA deal, which was horrible for America. And I believe some type of Japan deal is on the way as well that he's setting up to sign and seal. But stick around for tomorrow, because I'm going to be talking about a new type of debt that the U.S. will start issuing soon, a new bond. You won't believe this. And also what Wall Street Journal is saying about the Fed and its repo operations. They believe the era of the Fed power is ending soon. But that's my 2 cents for today. Let me know yours in the comments below. And if you found this video informative, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And click that bell to receive more like this. I'm out of here, people. Holla!